Another day, another DCEU video, guys. Welcome back to the channel here. I haven't made one of these videos in a while, unless you're counting my movie reviews for any DCEU film, such as Shazam that nobody watched. I don't really care. But no, guys, I did want to talk about something, and this is more or less, unfortunately, a negative video about the DCEU, but the DCEU is officially dead, and the audiences, the general audiences, film goers, besides the hardcore fans, are pretty much done with the DCEU and ready for something new. I'm gonna break. I got like five or six reasons that I'm gonna break down. There's a couple things I want to ramble on about too, but let's talk about some of the reasons the DCEU has led to this point of being officially dead. Flop after flop. This is my first topic that I want to talk about. Coming from Justice League 2017, now we know that shitfest of a film, but financially wise, this film should have made about almost close to $1 billion. It's the Justice League, your core members, Batman, Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Cyborg. I don't count Superman because they fucked up in the marketing, not marketing Superman in the film. But either way, this film grossed about $600 million overall. That should have been at least $1 billion. So that was the first start of the downward slope for the DCU, in my opinion, right? Now, if you go look at Snyder's two films, Batman v Superman and Batman v Superman and Man of Steel made about 300 or 400 million, but being the Kickstarter of the DCEU, so to speak, that was fine. I think Batman v Superman made close to maybe 500 or 600 million, which that portion too was a little iffy. I'll even admit to, as much as I love BVS, it should have hit almost 7 or 8, and I think it was at like 500 or 600 million. But with that being said, you have a global phenomenon of Wonder Woman 2017 that made $1 billion, or really close, 800 or 900 million dollars, and then you have Justice League that drops that little rising heat and drops it right down to that. And then honestly, after that, there were a couple shining aspects of the DCU. Like I said, a lot of people critically and fan base wise enjoyed the first Shazam film. However, nobody went to go see that as well. It didn't make a lot of money, but it was received pretty well. Aquaman is a good example of a film after post Justice League that was successful. It made $1 billion, and a lot of people enjoyed it, and it was just a fun escapism, fun turn off your brain movie. I'm about to talk about two films right now that doesn't make sense, and there's some what are the reasons of why these two films underperformed in the box office. Let's talk about Wonder Woman 84. That movie was horrible, right? Obviously, so that's one thing, but another reason why that film didn't do good at all was it was just dumped right on HBO Max. And the Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn, was dumped as well right on HBO Max. But the problem is, these two films in the DCU, they didn't make no money. So these are, in my mind, 84 is a box office flop. It's a fucking film flop anyways. It's trash film. The Suicide Squad, you guys know that I pretty much enjoyed that, but it is, from a box office standpoint, a flop, even though we were post-pandemic at that point. They just chose to dump it out on HBO Max and lost a lot of revenue from it. So in a way, it's another DCU flop. I hate to say it. Even though it was a good film, it really was a good film. I really enjoyed it. But the two that I'm very, very surprised about is Black Adam and Shazam 2. And that's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, is because of Shazam 2. Black Adam made overall $400 million. You have the biggest star on the planet being Dwayne Johnson. You have all the rumors of Henry Cavill, Superman returning. Why didn't it work? What the fuck was the reason with it? This film should have been $1 billion film. That's the truth. And this is a film, and I'm going to be honest, this is a film like Aquaman, where it's dumb action, fun action, turn your brain off fucking action. Fun, just a fun little escapism. What didn't work about it? Well, it makes me to believe that all the hype going into Black Adam, and there's no direction in the DCU. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but that's one of the reasons why I think it didn't work. And plus, why is Black Adam getting a solo film? Who the fuck is this character? That's another problem that Shazam has as well. That's why I feel like with these characters, they should have been introduced in an ensemble movie like a Suicide Squad or a Justice League, instead of breaking off into their own solo films right away. And I'm talking about Shazam too. But that being said, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I had a fun time with both. I had a fun time with Black Adam too. I really did. But Shazam! Fury of the Gods, had a fun time with it. You guys know that. I actually really enjoyed it better than the first one, and no one goes and sees it. We are at like 29 million opening weekend. That's not good. And it's a good film. But this film's getting a little bit hit more by the critics, saying it's not as good as the first one. And if it's getting hit more by the critics that it's not as good as the first one, and you're starting to notice that WB started to market Wonder Woman in the trailers now, well then there you go. They know that this film's going to be a complete flop, and it's on track to be a complete flop. Now, hey, maybe it grabs some legs. I hope it does, but I don't think so. Now, I do want to talk about something. Here's another reason why the DCEU is officially dead, but that's obviously it. Flop after flop, the audiences don't want to go see these films anymore. And just to sidetrack before we get into the next reason, the Batman, completely out of the DCEU, makes about 800 million. Joker, $1 billion film, out of the DCEU. This is why I like DC doing their Elseworld stories a lot, because then you're going to get audiences that are like, cool, not connected to the cinematic universe or whatever the fuck they were doing, and it's branched off into its own thing. That's the cool part about what DC is doing, and that they're going to continue doing. But one of the things I do want to bring up is actually an article I literally just read today that even got me more motivated to make this video, is The Rock's ego. I like Dwayne Johnson, I really do. I thought he did a phenomenal job playing Black Adam. I liked his philosophy of how he wanted Henry back as Superman and to continue stories with him and Henry. I don't like this, that he was planning on running the DCU basically himself. He was going to be in charge of everything. That's his ego mind, and basically just have Black Adam and Superman only. Black Adam should have been in a Shazam film. He should have been introduced in a Superman film. But mainly, this is a Shazam villain. So how aren't you going to cross paths with your main hero being Shazam? The way that Dwayne Johnson, rumors are all speculating, is that he did not want anything to do with Shazam, and he just wanted his Black Adam to be on power level with Superman, to go up against Superman and basically make films with that within that realm and not make anything connecting to the Shazam universe. I'm not going to say it's a good thing that Dwayne is not moving, or I wouldn't say moving forward, but having the power that he would have had if Black Adam was successful. Just think about it. The Black Adam made $1 billion. Everything would 99.9% be different. We would have Henry back, which a lot of people would like, but what direction would we be going in? That's my question. Are we even going into a Justice League, or is it going to be more of the Dwayne Johnson DC universe? You see what I mean by that? That's a question that I don't think will ever get answered. But another thing is false promises. Let's get into this topic. Henry Cavill's Superman return. That pissed a lot of people off. Him returning, everybody was fucking happy. Everybody was giggity, including myself. I was so excited, already theorizing what type of Man of Steel film that they're going to do next. The problem is his agents, also Dwayne Johnson's ex-wife, the Garcia family, promised him something that was not guaranteed, and which he didn't end up finding out until James Gunn sat him down in a talk and said that we're not going to have you come back as Superman. He releases this public statement saying, hey, unfortunately, I will not actually be coming back as Superman. That, I think, was one of the nails in one of multiple nails in the coffin for the DCU. Not hearing that your lead man, Superman, is coming back when you just heard 3 months before that he was in Black Adam and he's coming back. It's too much shit going left and right. Hearing Affleck's directing a Batman solo film, then hearing that he wants out. You're hearing that Wonder Woman 3 is going to be happening, but it's not going to be happening. The Flash film going through 6 fucking directors, Ezra's fiasco. All these things add up. And, you know, general audiences don't really pay attention, but when you're on a level like this, yeah, they're going to pay attention to it, and they're going to hear, like, what the fuck what is DC even doing? Leading into my next fucking, next thing, there's no direction. There was no direction. Under Snyder's vision, there was a direction, and that's the truth. And no, any Snyder hater can listen to this too. He had a whole story plan. The problem is Zack's story wasn't meant for a big cinematic universe. That was more from the studio's end. But Zack was willing to make it work. He had Man of Steel. He had his plan for BVS. He had his plan for all 3 Justice League films. And then we know how that fucking went. But that was his plan. He had a plan. That's what the only thing that mattered. After BVS, and his plan, after they kicked him out of fucking the director chair, DC had no plan. They were just like, let's make a solo film. Let's make this solo film. Let's just start throwing things. Fuck it. Let's make it. We gotta make something work. Let's fucking pull out of our asses birds of prey. Still have not seen that fucking movie. People are laughing downstairs. I really don't give a fuck. I still have not seen that movie, and I won't see it. But there you go. It's like the direction is gone, and in a way, it could be a positive. Is like, okay, you don't need to watch 27 movies like the Marvel Cinematic Universe to understand what's going on. But even with, like, you could go walk into Infinity War and just watch Infinity War. You don't need to know what exactly was the lead up point to it. That's what's kind of unique about a lot of Marvel films. Even Endgame, you could not watch Infinity War and kind of go into Endgame and have a fun time as well. Where with it's just, there's no direction. The Suicide Squad, David Ayer's Suicide Squad, that got ripped to shreds by the studio. It was a shit film. I loved the cast that was casted in it, but there was no film, in my opinion. It was more like a music video, and I wish we get to see the Ayer cut. And listen, I'm a fan of the Snyderverse. I'm gonna get that out there right now. And a lot of, like, the critics love the bash the Snyderverse. The studio loves the bash the Snyderverse these days now too. But you guys gotta realize that was the only thing that was actually a complete plan. And it's sad, because at that point, this is what I would have done if I was the studio, right? As much as I hate to say this, but it's true. You have Justice League 2017 flop at $600 million, and how you torn that to shreds. I would have cut it right there, reboot right after that. They kept going for about what? 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 6 fucking years after, when we could have been in a whole new DC universe. I'm sorry, that's fucking Warner Brothers, the management there. I mean, hopefully David Zaslav, James Gunn, Peter Safran do end up keeping their promises and deliver us something really great, because us DC fans deserve better. We really do. Or you just kept what you were fucking doing with Snyder for his fucking 6 films. I don't, and then that's what I don't understand is, he had a plan, they fucking butchered it. And I love, this is what I love. Okay, so no, I will acknowledge there's some positive things of the DCEU, right? The Snyder Cut was successful. I don't care what anybody says. The ratings wise, critics loved it, fans loved it, and I think it had a really high viewership that was covered up by WB executives for HBO Max, and they claimed it wasn't that high. They claim 84's viewership was higher than that. I find that fucking highly unlikely, but whatever. So credit where credit's due. The Snyder Cut worked. It did. It did, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. I have fucking 3 copies back there. I enjoyed it. But the problem is that after that, that's like, you guys know how many videos I made saying like, okay, so where can they go from this? I heard a lot of reports about Snyder coming back, Affleck coming back. I wanted all those things. I'm just happy that we did get the Snyder Cut, because then you can look at his trilogy. Even though that's the problem, you look at it a trilogy and you know it's not a trilogy. It's supposed to be a 5-film story arc. It sucks, but I look at it like, okay, we got the trilogy. Let's get into something else now. That's how I look at it. But honestly, I truly believe like these are all reasons why the audiences are done with the DCU. It's officially dead. The DCEU is dead until the DCU starts with that fresh reboot of Superman Legacy. One more thing I do want to talk about is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I think it's called. Lost or Last Kingdom. It's gonna have I truly believe it's gonna have the exact same effect as Shazam 2. Whether now Shazam is not a well-known superhero, I think a lot of people are not going to see these films because what's the point? That's another big thing too. You hear a cinematic universe is rebooting and you know there's films coming out. Why? I'm just gonna be honest. I'm still gonna go see these films, but why would an average moviegoer go see this film? when there's already no direction to anything. And like, yeah, I get it, judges on its own thing. It's a film, it's a story. But a lot of people are into the MCU now, and they like that style of a cinematic universe. Why go in to watch something that's also the Aquaman: The Last Kingdom or The Lost Kingdom is the last film in the DCEU. Blue Beetle, I believe, is actually going to be in the DC universe. So fucking confusing, guys. It really is. But Blue Beetle would be probably in the DC universe. However, Aquaman is the last one. Coming off of Flash. Flash is going to kill that film. And the reason why is Flash is being advertised as the finale of the DCU. So if any film left in the DCU is going to make money, it's going to be the Flash film. Even though that whole Ezra scandal, whatever you want to call it, and with Keaton, the nostalgia in the film that we're going to see a lot of, it's going to be the film that has the potential to make the most money out of any fucking DCEU film to date. It does. And it's going to be the finale. Why does Aquaman 2 come out after that? Blows my fucking mind. They should end with the Flash film since it is the true ending. I don't know, but guys, do you guys agree with me with my whole reasons why the DCU is officially dead and audiences are done with it? Guys, let me know your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.